What's it? We're missing Beverly.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we're going to begin the meeting, the April 12th, 2013 meeting of the Planning Commission. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and if I could get Mr. Moore to lead us, I'd appreciate it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As a reminder, anyone wishing to address the commission should fill out a request to speak form and present it to the clerk. Also, as a reminder, presentations by the public on matters not on the agenda within the jurisdiction of the commission. The commission is prohibited by law from discussing issues not on the agenda brought to them at this time. David, do we have any correspondence or staff communications for the Planning Commission?
Yes, Chair Galvan, thank you very much. You should have in front of you a memo from myself with a letter attached to it that we received late yesterday regarding agenda item number 1. I will address this memo and letter when we get to that portion of the agenda.
Okay. Do we have any disclosure of ex parte communication at this time from anybody on the commission?
Chair Galvan, at this time, we would request that we adjourn to closed session.
Okay.
And we would do ex parte communications after.
All right, so at this time, the commission will be adjourning to closed session. We'll be returning after the closed session, so folks will have a chance to comment then. Is there anybody who wishes to comment at this time prior to closed session? Okay, so we'll be adjourning to closed session at this time. Thank you. This time, we'll reopen the public portion of the Planning Commission meeting. We have nothing to report. So we'll move on to the agenda, and does anybody have any ex parte communication to report? No? No disclosures? Okay. So we'll move on to item number 1. David, consideration of the revocation of the conditional use permit 10-7, and I'll turn that over to you.
Yes, thank you very much, Chair Galvan. Tonight, staff is recommending to you that you revoke conditional use permit 10-07, which was approved back in 2011 for a metals recycling facility that was to be at the Port of West Sacramento. Staff is basing its recommendation for the revocation on the fact that the project has not complied with its conditions, which most specifically was that they were required to enter into a ground lease with the Port of West Sacramento. Although they did originally enter into a ground lease, that ground lease was revoked by the Port Commission in March, and so the project is no longer in compliance with that condition. And also wanted to update the commission based earlier this week on Wednesday evening, the Port Commission voted to relinquish its rights to this particular conditional use permit, and they also, on a separate matter, voted to lease a portion of this former project site to another for another project to another party. So this afternoon, we are requesting that you find that the project is not in compliance with its conditions and therefore revoke the conditional use permit. At this time, I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, David. Any questions from the commission? I'll start with my right. Commissioner Fromer?
No questions.
Yeah, Commissioner Wall?
Yes.
No.
Okay, and I have none. So we will open the public hearing on this matter. Anybody wishing to speak? I have one slip, and it's Mr. Nilsson. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your time today. My name is Torgny Nilsson. I'm here on behalf of Sierra Northern Railway and our sister company, Sierra Energy. We were at the Port Commission meeting, so I understand what happened there. We, for about the past 15 years, have been providing the port and the city with rail services, and we have now also started developing a green energy project that I think this commission approved a while back for also at the port. We have over this time invested several $1 million of our own money, and we've assisted the port in gaining several million more in grants to improve the port's ability to handle railroad traffic. Because of our commitment to the port and the city, which has been long-standing, we last year also agreed, when the port was in dire need of cash, to purchase 18 acres of the port property to build a green energy facility. This is a renewable facility, no emissions. It takes waste and converts it to energy or fuels. We thought it would also produce about 65 new jobs. We thought we could do this because the city and the port told us at the time that a recycling facility was going in adjacent to our energy facility. That was very good for us because that project had a grant for a new entrance road to the port, and we were going to be able to use that road. Also, the waste products, the recycling that could not be recycled from the recycling facility, were a perfect feedstock for our energy facility, so we were relying on their waste products to convert that into energy. We've also been working with them on PG&E easements and other utilities in the area. The success of our project, in other words, is tied very closely to the success of the recycling project. We understood from a meeting with city staff a few months ago that West Coast Recycling was having some problems with their project. We at that time said we would be very interested, if they dropped their project, in taking over the recycling project ourselves, because it's so important to us. We couldn't do anything while the lease was in place because we didn't want to interfere with their business, but once that was revoked, we were able then to proceed with the city. We have asked the city for time to do that, and so far they have been proceeding against West Coast Recycling on this. I understand the city and the port are upset with the developers of the recycling project, and in that they apparently owe the port about $175,000 in back fees and rent. I also understand the Port Commission has terminated both the lease and has approved the revocation of the permit. And I understand that this commission today must, because of an agreement with Schnitzer Steel, at least consider the revocation of this permit, although that agreement, from what I understand, doesn't require this commission to act today. I'm not asking this commission to not consider this matter today. I'm not asking the commission to ignore the Port Commission's request, but I am asking this commission to give us 30 days to try and work out a deal where we can save this project. The recycling project, from our third-party estimates that we've received, are that it will produce 90 jobs here, in addition to our 65 jobs. That's 175 jobs, and this is a facility we desperately need for our energy facility to succeed. And also, as I've said, the road is imperative to our project, and that, I understand, goes away from staff if the recycling facility goes away, since it's tied specifically to the recycling center's jobs, not ours. That's $1 million grant, I understand, for that road. So we have investors we've spoken with, foreign investors who are interested in investing in both projects if we can get access to the recycling facility. And our goal is, as part of that, if we can do that, to make the city whole in the $175,000 it's currently owed on that project. We had nothing to do with that. That's not us. But you know, it's something we think we can make the city whole on. Right now, that money's gone. So in fact, I'm asking you not to punish us in our project because the city's angry with some other developers on a project we desperately need. I'm compelled to note, even though it's probably against our interest, that I learned that approximately an hour and a half ago, West Coast Recycling made a proposal to Marty Tuttle, telling him that they had an investor now that wants to proceed with this and make the city whole as to all amounts they're due. I think Sims Company. So I just want to, I feel compelled to let you know that. But again, I ask this commission, please defer this for 30 days to let us see if we can work something out. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And that is the only request to speak I have. At this time, we'll close the public hearing, and I'll bring it back to the commission for questions or comments. And I'll start to my left this time.
No
Mr.
question.
Wilson? Commissioner Levy, go ahead.
Sorry, my mic died. I just have one statement. I did support this project. I would support it again with the revocation of the lease agreement and the leasing of the property. That's just not possible. However, I would entertain a CUP from Sierra Energy, Sierra Rail, on this project. I'm not sure how that process would go. We'd have to check with David, but that's just a comment for the Sierra people.
Are you directing that to the applicant, or are you directing that?
That was just general comment of mine.
Mr. Perez?
No.
Commissioner Moore?
No, I think I'd agree with what Russ just mentioned, and I kind of agree with what you say, but I don't think that's the issue before us today.
And I also agree with what Russ just finished saying, and also if there's any other additional information that staff can fill in based on the new update we received, that would be helpful, I think, a little bit. Just if there's any additional information you can provide.
Dave, would you like to comment?
Well, we certainly would not support any delay in today's recommended action. Should another project of similar nature be proposed, we would certainly bring that before your commission at that time, and it would be evaluated at its merits. But that is not before you today. We're simply seeking revocation of the previously approved use permit today, and would urge the commission to take that action today.
Thank you. Okay. I have nothing. I would concur with Commissioner Leibig's comments as well. With that, I'd look for a motion.
Move to accept the staff recommendation.
To a motion to either affirm or not affirm staff's recommendation.
Affirm the staff's recommendation.
Okay, I have a motion for Commissioner Frommer. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second for Commissioner Wilson. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against say nay. Okay, the motion carries.
Thank you. I'd like to read the appeal procedure, please. Any interested party may appeal the decision of the Planning Commission in this matter to the City Council by filing a written appeal with the City Clerk within 15 days of today's action, and the appeal must be accompanied by the appropriate filing fee.
Thank you. So we'll move on to general administrative function. Do we have any informal discussion?
We would just like to thank the Commission for coming in and having this special meeting today. This is the first that I can recall we've had a daytime meeting like this, so thank you.
Thank you. Then I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Commissioner Moore, second.
Second.
Commissioner Perez. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.